Hello, welcome. In this video I'm going to explain why the construction company is not as good as it seems. If you check the details, it says 20% construction sector building throughput, and you may think that you're going to be building 20% faster and cheaper, and that is not true. But let's start from the beginning. If you play with power blocks, you have a mandate that is called construction mandate, and the first mandate is super good. It gives you 10% straight construction efficiency. And what does it mean? For example, here it takes 9 weeks to build that administrative center, and I have a 65 penalty for the building, but I get a reduction of 10% because I have the first mandate. So I'm going to dissolve the company and check what happens with these 9 weeks. To make the example easier, I'm going to build also an energy center, 67 weeks. I'm going to destroy the company, the mandate, sorry. So I just unpaused, a week passed, and instead of decreasing, it went from 9 to 11, and this one from 67 to 93. This is because I don't have the mandate anymore that gives the 10% discount. You can see 67 to 93 is a 30% boost. And why is that if the trade efficiency is only 10%? This is because the higher the penalty, the more important this benefit. For example, if you have a 90% penalty or 100%, you will take years to build the building. And by just having 10% efficiency from 90 to 80, you are double your construction efficiency in total. So you are building in half time. The less problems you have in the province, this benefit will go closer to 10%, but anyway, is super good. Now let's go to the third mandate. This unblocks a special company, that is the construction company, is down here. I'm going to go to it. And as we said previously, this company does not give you sector efficiency. On the other hand, gives construction sector building throughput. And you may be thinking, well, 10% plus 20%, you are building at least 30% cheaper, and that is not false because it gives you throughput. This is completely different to efficiency. Let's go to a construction sector. We are in a construction sector, and down here we have the throughput bonus is super high, 39, and it's 20% because of the company plus 15% from some other reasons. And what does it mean? It means that with 35% efficiency, or at least maybe let's use 20% to represent only the company, you're going to be getting 20% more production points, more construction points that are here. And this means that yes, you are going to be constructing 20% faster, in this case 35% faster, but you're going to be spending 35% more input goods. And where is the benefit of the efficiency with the throughput? The benefit is down here, the wages. The wages keep constant, so you're using the same amount of employees to produce more. But the problem is that here, as you can see, the cost of the materials are super high and the cost of the wages is super low. This is an abnormal situation. Is all the standard companies, the wages are high and the goods are not so expensive. Let's check this one. As you can see, this is the cost of the materials, and you have a relation with the wages. You are spending 1K in materials and you're spending 1K in wages, 50-50 or something like that. But sadly, in the construction sector, we are spending 43K in some materials and we are spending just 0 point something, well, in this situation, 2 points something in wages. And let's go to the big picture. And here is the big picture. I'm spending in my budget 1.2 million pounds on construction goods. You can check them there. And let's go now to see what I'm spending in salaries, in wages. You can see there I am spending almost 20K in construction sector employees. So how much is the percentage? We are spending 0.2% in wages. This means that if I destroy the construction building company right now and I build 20% more construction sectors, I will be spending the same amount of materials and getting the same amount of construction point, but will be spending 20% more on wages. So the total saving in 1K is about 4K. That means that we are just saving only 0.5% or less in the total construction spending. I'm going to destroy the construction company right now. Before doing that, check the total number of construction points, 2201. And we are going to destroy it. And now we have the new number and the new total spending. Okay, as you can see, we are building 20% less, but we are spending 20% less. And we are spending the same on wages. I wrote down the numbers. This was the original with the construction company, the total cost in millions of pounds, and without the construction company, and the new cost that is lower because we are spending less materials. But if you divide to get the number of construction points per million, divide this number by this one, and I get almost the same number. So as you can see, the benefit is kind of marginal, and this difference is probably because the materials after I impose, they change all the time the prices, so it's not going to give the exact same number. But you get the idea. You get 20% less consumption of this, and you get 20% less production. But if the construction company makes these goods cheaper because you have the production bonus on these materials, you're going to be saving some amount of money. But the good news is that there is another company, this one, that gives you 5% construction sector efficiency, and this is the key. It's not throughput, it's efficiency, and this means that it's going to be making the building 5% extra bonus. Imagine on the situation where you get the 10% discount, where you add this 5%. So this is really, really, really strong. And I personally think that this company is better than this one, than the construction. Sorry, it's not anymore there, because it gives you also premium steel. And what does it does, premium steel? Well, any building that is using any premium stuff like this one, for example, I'm using some tools, you get a production throughput bonus. And as you can see, this is not important when the construction sector where the wages are very low, but it's super important for all the rest of the companies. So it's super important to have premium tools, to have premium steels, because you are going to be getting, for example, in this situation, I'm only using 4% prestige goods, and this, or 5, this means I'm getting a 1% extra bonus. So you can get a max of 20% building throughput by using premium stuff. Going back to our example, I have here again the new building, 64 weeks. I'm building a energy central. I'm going to destroy the company that I just mentioned, that is here, that gives the construction efficiency. I'm going to destroy, destroyed. I'm going to unpause, and it went from 67 to 76. So as you can see, it's super powerful, that extra 5% construction efficiency. That's my today's tip. Hope you have a great day, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.